seconds without the terrorize zone. They feel like they just need to prioritize buildings and...
Okay.
Focus down, brought back. Weaver needs to be careful. No time left. Does the BKB, has to pop it immediately. Does do so. Is he going to finish the racks or is he going to go for the heroes? Takes the melee Rex. Forward goes the Earthshaker. Refreshes as well. Use one Echo Slam. Has a second if he needs it. PL is there, but the problem is this PL is going to push him back, and Earthshaker getting very low in the process. Solo doing what he can, but is going to go down as well as Roger. The chase is on. Emberfall back. He goes straight into a Hex. He doesn't have the Aeon. As Triple C. Oh no, what are you thinking? And right on cue, Roger's there. Gives them the whatever it is, the luck.
That's the moment they've been waiting for all game. Yes. Is finally a big team fight win. They got more out of their opponents than their opponents got out of them. I mean, it's a barracks, it's a melee barracks, but they killed Ramses very easily twice in a row. They got 2 pickoffs. They felt like they could chase and catch more. And if he does get those disables, that's a crucial moment. But he gets disabled, didn't have his Aeon disc, and that was his dieback.
Ramses running in mid.
Oh, that was so close. That was Basher right there. He's thinking, oh, no line, easy, right? Nope, Basher's here, man.
Bash. Oh, jeez.
That was so close.
Very close.
It might have been on cooldown for the follow-up, so there's probably no way they get that kill outside of a little bit more damage, but he's going to know about that Basher now. Definitely something to worry about.
Just the bottom racks. We'll take another look at that fight here. A chaotic one. The Weaver loses his first life pretty quickly with time lapse on cooldown, but has the BKB. And then it's Shaker who goes charging forward. BKB runs in, Echo Slam for the Lion. It was definitely not the perfect, beautiful execution that you sometimes come to expect from VP, but it got the job done. It got a melee racks, and they had to feed away their supports to get out of there, which kind of speaks to the fact they did not play that push that well, but part of that is because it's so hard to push high ground against this lineup.
It felt like such a good moment to chase, but Pasha's Hex was ready and they were able to get the kill. But VP just feels like they always know who to target for, what are the problem heroes, and it's always going for Lion. Like multiple fights in a row, no one is aiming for that guy because he knows that if Lion's dead, then Weaver has a much easier time, as we saw in the previous fight. So it's popping BKBs to offset that one support hero, but once that guy's dead and his BKB runs out, he needs to leave the lane anyway. So he always has to walk out afterwards. Definitely seeing the limitations of Earthshaker a bit, but he has done his job.
Yep. He's going to have a Lincoln Zeng, so this is maybe something additional to even pop on the Weaver. It doesn't even necessarily have to be for himself.
Weaver, by the way, picking up a new item. Just a simple green sword for the evasion. But it's the right move. It's going to give him evasion against the Basher, over against those hits, so less likely he gets hit there. And as a whole, a lot of right-click on the enemy team, including Enchantress, so this is a really value Butterfly.
Yeah. It's a great pickup. He's got a DD rune that is going to pop and the swap in the Butterfly. This top lane is going to melt pretty quickly, I feel. Does just go for the BKB. I think they're just sick of NEWBEE defending high ground, so they're going to commit things like the BKB just to hit buildings. Unfortunately, there's a glyph for him, so he's not going to quite get the damage he wanted on it, but okay, some seed creeps will help out.
Catapult's good, killing buildings, but even so far, the Butterfly has shown huge difference in increasing their survivability. SEC also didn't go for True Strike, picked up Spell Amp, the right thing to do at the time, but now might be a little bit worried about it. But they can't quite blow up Weaver anymore, and with all the auras on Venge, if he just sits behind the Weaver, Weaver's going to get healed rapidly. He can swap him out if he's in danger, and his window for staying alive is so much higher. I think it's looking really good for VP. It's a 29k gold advantage. The game is still close, though. If NEWBEE wins a big team fight, they could absolutely get back in this game.
And I think VP recognizing that's partly why their approach is, let's just chip at these buildings. Weaver go in, BKB hit. Oh, okay. Not able to...
That was Aeon Disc, yep.
Get quite what they wanted to do to kill him.
Out of there very fast. Fissure was a moment away, but it's out in time.
Yeah, so maybe. I mean, theoretically, what you want to do is just blink echo him as you like hex him and then instantly blink echo, so you pop the Aeon Disc and then you stun him again before he can fire on it because he's still hexed. So I think if they execute that gank, they definitely can kill SCCC.
Absolutely. Gotta do the damage a little faster. Maybe if you had enchant ready or something.
Yeah, or yeah, you get a big totem instantly, but...
It's a nice pickup by KP there on the mid lane. They kind of got initiated on, but it wasn't a full committal, and he just threw a couple hits at the Venge. Venge's armor is really high, he's got tons of regen, but pure damage is still going to cut through him rapidly, and they were able to get the kill. Finally some ground for a NEWBEE is what it feels like. It doesn't happen often, but it happened there. Did you see Pasha's items? It's got an Octarine core. So, very bizarre.
Well, once that lower cooldown hex.
Yeah, it's 16.5 seconds, 52 on his Black King bar. Maybe he goes Ags or something.
With Bloodright cooldown, it's going to have an insanely low cooldown.
That's a good point. 4.5 out of 6 seconds.
That's something.
What happens when you get silenced twice? Count as a stun or something like that?
Shit, the double silence.
That's a terrible joke. Most people are maybe not going to get it. It's still good. Clears creep waves. 315 pure damage that he can amplify by 40%. So very good way to do damage. Very weird way to play Bloodseeker, but in reality, was he going to be able to go up against the PL and try to outcarry him? No. So instead he's playing this like utility role, and it could work really well. Yeah,
the Radiance Mjolnir or whatever is okay, but also the other thing is that it's not just the PL who's a problem. It feels like the Ember, catching the Ember is maybe a bigger problem. It's very much, recognizing which heroes aren't, at least somewhat under control, and then find the one and address the ones that aren't.
NEWBEE might get caught here. They are moving across the map. They've got Ward's good spot. They got Vision. Great stun from Kaka though.
Catches both supports, and immediately the Impediment should finish off the bench here. The Terrorize comes out, Lion goes down here, but the rest of the NEWBEE side in OK shape until the Echo Slam comes out on the PL. The PL will get completely destroyed by this. Has buyback, but doesn't want to just throw it away immediately, as KP will get finished off as well. That's a gem. And NEWBEE, despite having the high ground there and popping the smoke and being positioned okay, they just don't have the firepower.
It looked really good for them, but there's just so many BKBs as well. Ember basically does no damage when people have their BKBs active. PL had to kind of wait that one out, but eventually he got spotted and chain stunned, and his HP got really lowered. But he needs to play on the edges of these battles, but it's hard.
And he feels like he's dead. Yeah, the PL is just really struggling to have a game against these Echo Slams.
They get him.
Gets a Weaver. Will he buy back or something for this? Theoretically, if they see a good opening, they may consider it, but Shaker doesn't have his ultimate, so...
Dark Willow gets out with a long-range blink, and still very good for NEWBEE. I guess they had some buybacks, right?
They had 2 on Enchantress and PL.
Okay, so that part's certainly very dangerous.
Yeah. And that's why I think VP are happy just to pull back and not buy back the Weaver. He could have theoretically re-engaged, buy back, time-lapse in your full health, and go for it, but that would have been very high-risk play.
NEWBEE was kind of praying there that they'd get the instant Roche respawn. If they got a little lucky, this could have been a timing they can exploit, but instead, going to be forced to play safer here.
Yep.
No one's still looking for an easy kill. The Faith could easily get picked up, actually. They're going to terrorize him.
Catch him with the Fissure into Totem. The Fear's still on top of him, and
now
Roche will finish off the kill.
Kind of the other way now, because Roche will be up in about 122, so just a little, about the same time that CM comes up, actually. So NEWBEE can get these lanes pushed out, and they can get a little control around Roche. They absolutely can contest this, but their track record so far this game is not good. Even pushing out lanes is still a huge uphill battle for Ember Spirit.
And it's something VP have proven to be pretty damn good at with the Bloodright, and even things like Willow Bedlam. Shaker can just quickly clear waves, so... very hard for NEWBEE to contest Roche when they have to keep on addressing the lane equilibrium. They do snipe the DD rune, so taking that away from the Weaver and getting on the PL would have been even better if he did have a Roche to kill with it, but not the end of the world. He's buying a Moonshot. More bashes, I guess. And night vision, this is one of those items which has been buffed so much. I'm sure it's going to be like OP at some point soon. Maybe it already is, and no one's buying it.
I mean, it is kind of 400 night vision is insane. That's 50% more vision at nighttime, and they're gonna find Solo. Actually, this looks pretty bad for him, but his whole team's here.
KP gets the Hurricane Pyko, pushes him back. There's gonna be the Blink Echo Slam coming out, catches 2 Kaka. Aeon Disc proc, so keeps him alive a little bit longer. Just trying to use all his spells before he goes down. Succeeds in doing so. The PL needs to get in there. Does get on top of the Venge. Solo getting very low here. There's no more Echo Slam to deal with this Phantom Lancer. Illusions absolutely everywhere. Mugi, luckily his DD's one off. The no one vision catches a lot. Now comes out the Hex. They've caught the PL. He's hexed up. He's got no escape. He's dead, as is the Enchantress. The buyback from SCCC is nice, but it's too little too late. They've lost their cause, and they do not have buyback. It should be the end for NEWBEE, unless SCCC can do something miraculous, and I just don't think he has it in the tank.
They're high ground, they're all alive, and so many dead heroes means minimum mid racks, probably bot racks, probably top racks, and
probably GG.
The Ember of today, you have to buy so many defensive items to be effective. Like Aeon Disc was good for the hero, but in the same vein, offensive ganking items are also just better.
Yep.
So it's like you have to just buy all these items that mean that you don't scale damage-wise. You're kind of like a utility guy, and he just never really was able to contribute enough to these team fights.
Well, it was a drawn-out victory for VP, but in some ways looked comfortable at all stages. They never really lost or threw away much of their lead. There was like one or two times where Dolph were killed like the Weaver when the Basher came out, but it looked convincing.
Yeah, it did, and it just looked like it was way harder for NEWBEE to get done what they needed to. Like once VP had BKBs on so many of their heroes, yes, they have line disables, but it was BKBs and it was Lincolns and it was just overwhelming map control for the whole game, which just led to them having more items and very difficult to play against. So it's like they just kept covering their bases. It just seemed like a team that was fully in control, knowing exactly what they needed to do every fight. They executed it well. They didn't make mistakes, and they edged every little win. These guys really want to win TI.
Yeah, they're playing well, and I think that's kind of victory you can walk away from and feel